What up, fam? Sean Don, technical analysis, second one on the day. Let's go. I'm all jacked up on coffee. So, James Viner, let's take a look. Okay. Okay, one more time. Alright, big thing I see off the start is you're pretty high in your legs. So, that's probably going to be the main thing I talk about. We shall see. Break it down. Alright. So, lines. Pretty standard. Step up. You get a good bit of movement in your body throughout the winds. I would try to stabilize that a little bit. So try to shift left and right a little bit less. That just creates more instability, and more instability in the winds and entry creates more instability in the turns themselves. So I think a good person to look at is like a Nick Miller. Very stable in his winds, and yeah. So try to shift left and right less. That way, when you go through the entry, the shifting left and right less also transfers there. So coming through here, so you can see you're reaching back and trying to connect with the hammer super early, and because you do that, you can see that, oh, okay. Well, yeah, so you see kind of here how this head and left shoulder are leading ahead, but then you do a great job of letting the ball pass. Very solid there. That being said, though, you're really shifting these hips back and away, which isn't a terrible thing. This left shoulder stays over this left knee, stays over this left heel, which is cool. But with this left hip shifting back so much, your right hip kind of lags behind a little bit, especially when you're starting off that heel. I know that's hard. So as the ball comes through, really try to chase your hands with this right hip. Really think about bringing this right hip around and trying to get it down early, create a little bit of separation between the upper and lower body. Because right now, like I said, you let the ball pass a bunch, but this right hip just isn't with the ball. So then when you come around, boom, you can see how late you catch with at least where the ball is at. Foot comes down and you catch just after 270. Ideally, you want to catch it at least with the ball kind of in the direction of the sector. So at least, like, if you could catch there, that'd be way cool. So, like I said, as the ball comes through zero, as the ball goes left, really try to chase your right hip to your hands, to the ball, whatever you want to think about. Bring this right hip around and drive those hips under. Also, like I said, that left leg's pretty straight. So the straighter that left leg is, the harder it is to drive that right hip under on this catch, because this left leg is essentially a post and this right leg has to move around it. So if you were to drop this left knee down towards the ground, you'd be able to kind of bring that right leg up and over this left leg rather than around it totally. So getting a little bit more bend in that left knee, especially as the ball goes towards the sector, if you can drop that left knee towards 180, that'll help you kind of get this right hip underneath you a little bit earlier. Therefore, you can catch, like I said, kind of like here rather than a few frames late. That left knee is just too stiff. And so you catch a little bit late. Not much tension probably feeling through this this left, I don't know, feeling tension much at all throughout the body. So one thing that I've been working on lately that I think a lot of people need to work on is making sure they catch their first turn early. Not early, but catching that first turn before working the ball. So people try to work the ball too hard in the entry, and then all of a sudden they blow through their first catch, and then everything from there is just kind of a toss-up. It's a matter of, like, what can you do to keep tension? So make sure this right foot gets down on the ground before you try to work the ball. Also, try two steps. So once again, kind of the idea of the right hip chasing the ball, chasing your hands. Try to drive your right hip towards the high point of the throw. Step forwards in the direction of the throw. Once again, that'll help you get your foot down a little bit early instead of coming around so much. As you can see, like I said, you can be very rotational. Catch. And like I said, not the best position here. Your hips are already turned back almost to 0, and the ball is past 270. Because of that, you'll see this left leg go a little bit early, just a bit. You do a pretty good job of staying patient with it, but this left side goes a little bit early to try to pull back and create tension with the hammer after catching so late. Like I said, the big thing is you gotta get this right side going more towards in the direction of the sector, so that way you can catch a little bit more forwards and then have something to work back against. Whereas right now, your body's just pulling around and around, trying to keep tension, keep up with the ball. And then same thing here. You can see this right hip getting into a little bit more, and you can see this left leg a little bit more bent. But really get aggressive with driving this right hip up towards the hands. And you're doing a better job. Like, so that, yeah, much better right leg in this turn. But then you still see this left leg super stiff. I'm not sure if you have any, previous knee injuries or anything like that, but like I said, try to get that left knee to kind of drop in towards 180. Drop that left knee towards the throw, towards the direction of the sector. That way you can stay down and get this right foot down a little bit sooner. Once again, it's kind of the stiffer this left leg is, the more time it's going to take for you to put this right foot down, because it has to, I don't know, you're quite literally just higher off the ground. So if your right leg has to move 6 inches compared to 12 inches like it is now, I don't know, let's say that's totally arbitrary number, your right foot comes up 12 inches as opposed to 6 inches, it's going to take longer to put down, which is once again why you kind of over rotate and step and catch once again after 270. So then, same thing, that left leg, left hip pulls away, left shoulder creates tension, and you see this right hip once again still getting into the ball, but this problem is this left leg is super straight. Look at Yuri Sadiq. I think the rumor is he didn't ever think about dropping, but also I don't know if I believe that. I'm sure maybe he didn't think about it, or he didn't think about it consciously, but it was in his throat. You can see it happening. So once again, very stiff legs. You got to be a little bit deeper in the legs. Get that left knee to drop down towards the sector. Just get a little bit deeper. That way you can catch. At least this third turn, your catch is the deepest. But still, it should be more, once again, in the direction of the sector. And you do a good job getting your hips up into the throw and finishing. Left side pulls off a little bit. But, yeah. So, big thing for you, James, like I said, get in your legs more. Bend your knees a little bit more, especially that left leg. That left leg is way too stiff. Outside of that, try not to shift back so far. Or, well, once again, it's not the problem of the hip shifting back. It's the problem of this right hip not going soon enough with the ball. All right, so drive that right hip, step forwards towards the sector, and drop that left knee towards the sector. You got to get a little bit more linear, meaning you have to have just a little bit more energy in each turn going towards 180 as opposed to going around in a circle. Outside of that, things aren't too far off. Like I said, I'd love to see video in 2 or 3 months after you've learned how to bend that left leg a little bit more. I think that'll help a lot. That'll help get that right foot down earlier. That'll help you feel more tension with the ball. You're going to have to learn how to be more patient, because all of a sudden you're going to have more time and double support, which is a good problem to have. So, yeah, let me know if you have any questions, man. I'm here to help. If anybody else out there would like technical analysis, go to SeanDonnelly.biz and sign up now, $15. Or if you want technical coaching, throws coaching, programming, lifting programming, whatever it is, I also do that. So sign up now. It's time to make gains, 2020. Let's go. All right. Sean Don, peace out.